Ever feel like you're running on a treadmill that's on fire while juggling deadlines, emails, and maybe even your accountant's nervous breakdown? You're not alone. Welcome to the club of no time for strategy population. Every overwhelmed business owner ever. Today, we are talking about why you can't seem to escape the chaos long enough to plan your company's next big move and what to do about it. Running a business often feels like fighting 100 small fires while someone hands you a flamethrower labeled urgent. You wake up intending to map out your 5-year growth strategy, but suddenly you're fixing the printer, answering client emails, and explaining again why Karen in accounting cannot expense her dog's birthday cake. Strategic thinking, that's a luxury, right? Here is the hard truth. If you don't make time for strategy, your business won't grow. It'll just spin in place like a hamster in a business suit. No strategy means no direction, and no direction means, number one, you miss market trends. Missing market trends doesn't happen overnight. It happens quietly between back-to-back meetings, customer fires, payroll deadlines, and that inbox that never hits zero. While you're busy running the business, the market is busy changing it. Customers evolve, expectations shift, new competitors appear with shinier offers, faster delivery, or a pricing model that makes yours look like it's from a different decade. Suddenly, sales slow down and everyone asks what happened. Spoiler alert, nothing happened yesterday. It's been happening for months. When you miss market trends, your decisions become reactive rather than strategic. You copy competitors instead of leading. You discount instead of differentiating. You launch products based on gut feeling instead of real data. That's when growth stalls, not because you're bad at business, but because you're operating with yesterday's map. Professional management fixes this by building intentional market awareness into your rhythm. Regular trend reviews, customer feedback loops, simple dashboards that show what's moving and what's fading. You don't need a crystal ball. You need a system, because trends don't punish busy owners. They reward the prepared ones. And the businesses that win aren't the loudest or the biggest. They're the ones paying attention before the shift becomes a show. Number two, you hire reactively instead of proactively. Reactive hiring usually starts with a crisis. Someone quits, a key employee burns out, sales grow faster than your team can handle. Suddenly you're scrambling, posting job ads at midnight, lowering standards and hoping someone shows up on Monday. That's not hiring, that's damage control. When you hire reactively, decisions are rushed and expensive. Roles are unclear, onboarding is improvised, and new hires are expected to figure it out. They don't, and then leaders wonder why turnover stays high and performance stays uneven. Spoiler: people don't fail fast. Systems do. Proactive hiring flips the script. You plan roles before you need them. You define responsibilities, success metrics, and cultural fit in advance. You build a talent pipeline instead of relying on panic and luck. When the right moment comes, you're ready, not desperate. Professional management treats hiring as a strategic process, not an emergency. Workforce planning, capacity forecasting, and succession planning turn hiring into calm, confident decision rather than a stress-induced gamble. Because great teams aren't built in a rush. They're built with foresight. And the strongest businesses don't ask, who can start tomorrow? They ask, who will help us win next year? Number 3, you invest in things that feel urgent but not important. Urgent things shout, important things whisper. The urgent demand immediately demands attention. A broken system, a complaining client, a last-minute hire, a quick fix software that promises miracles by Friday. So you spend money fast because pressure makes speed feel smart. Important investments, on the other hand, don't scream. Leadership development, process improvement, strategy, data, they sit quietly in the corner waiting for when things calm down. Spoiler alert, they never do. When urgency drives investment decisions, budgets get eaten by band-aids. You upgrade tools without fixing workflows. You hire to relieve pressure rather than build capability. You spend to survive the months, not to strengthen the year. The result? High costs, low return, and the frustrating feeling that you are always busy but never ahead. Professional management restores balance by separating noise from value, clear priorities, long-term goals, investment criteria tied to strategy, not stress. You still handle emergencies, but they no longer hijack your future. Because important investments compound, they reduce urgency over time, and the businesses that grow sustainably aren't the ones reaching fastest. They're the ones investing intentionally, even when no one is shouting for it. Number 3, that's the worst one. You become the bottleneck. At first, it feels heroic. You approve everything. You solve every problem. You're the go-to person, the final decision maker, the human Swiss Army knife. The business runs because of you, right? That's exactly the problem. When everything flows through one person, speed dies. Decisions pile up, teams wait, opportunities pass while your calendar screams for mercy. What looks like control is actually congestion. You're not leading the business, you're clogging it. Bottleneck leadership isn't caused by ego. It's caused by a missing structure, unclear roles, no decision frameworks, a lack of trust built through systems, not wishful thinking. So you hold on not because you want to, but because letting go feels risky. Professional management removes the bottleneck by design. Clear authority levels, documented processes, decision rights assigned to roles, not personalities, dashboards that replace constant check-ins. Suddenly, work moves without you hovering over every step. And here's the twist. When you stop being the bottleneck, your value actually increases. You shift from firefighter to architect, from problem solver to strategist, because a great business doesn't need its owner everywhere. It needs them to be focused on what matters most. Your business can only grow as far as your schedule allows. And if your calendar looks like a game of Tetris gone wrong, good luck scaling. Meet Laura, owner of a thriving marketing agency. Well, sort of thriving. Laura's team kept asking for direction. Where are we going as a company? What are our top priorities this quarter? Laura's response? You'll get to it after I finish payroll and those 73 client emails and the team birthday cake. 6 months in, Laura noticed growth had stalled. Team morale dipped. Clients began drifting away, not out of dissatisfaction, but because newer agencies out-strategized her. So she hired a professional manager to help create space. They restructured roles, blocked out time for weekly strategy, and implemented a task triage system. Result? Laura now spends 20% of her week on growth planning. Revenue jumped 40% in 9 months. The printer still breaks sometimes, but now someone else handles it. Why is it so easy to get trapped in the weeds? Because doing the doing feels productive. It's concrete, it's immediate. You fix something and boom, you feel like a hero. Strategy, on the other hand, feels abstract, slow, maybe even selfish. But let me ask you this. Would you rather be the mechanic working on the engine every day or the pilot flying the plane? Because guess what? Nobody wants to fly in a plane where the pilot is too busy changing spark plugs mid-flight. Here is your simple 4-step strategy for escaping the day-to-day grind. Number 1, block strategy time like it's your most important client meeting, because they put it on the calendar, name it clearly, and treat it as non-negotiable. No rescheduling. No just 5 minutes. Guard it like a dragon guards gold. This is where you step out of reaction mode and into leadership mode. You review priorities, spot patterns, question assumptions, and make decisions that shape the future, not just survive the week. Without protected strategy time, urgent noise will always win. Great businesses aren't built in spare moments between fires. They're built when leaders slow down long enough to think clearly. Strategy doesn't happen by accident. It happens by appointment. Number 2, delegate with purpose. Not to get rid of work, but to protect your impact. Your time should be spent on what grows revenue, develops people, and moves the business forward. Everything else is candidate for delegation. Hire or empower a manager to take low-impact tasks off your plate. Clear roles, defined authority, and measurable outcomes turn delegation from a gamble into a system. When done right, work doesn't disappear. It gets done better, faster, and without constant oversight. If a task doesn't build profit, capability, or strategy, it doesn't belong with you. Hand it off. Leadership isn't doing more. It's deciding what only you should do and letting go of the rest. Number 3. Use the 80-20 Pareto rule to cut through the noise. Not all work is created equal. In fact, a small fraction of what you do drives the majority of your results. Ask yourself, what 20% of my activities generate 80% of revenue, growth, or momentum? Those are your power moves. Strategy, key relationships, high-impact decisions. Everything else, that's support, work, or distraction. The mistake most leaders make is treating all tasks as equally urgent, and they are not. When you double down on high-impact activities and ditch, automate, or delegate the rest, results accelerate without longer hours. Professional management uses Pareto thinking to focus energy where it actually pays off. Less busy work, more progress, because success isn't about doing more, it's about doing more of what matters. Number 4, get help from outside. Fresh perspective isn't a luxury, it's a shortcut. When you are inside the business every day, blind spots are guaranteed. You normalize chaos, accept inefficiencies, and keep pushing through problems that should have been solved once. An experienced consultant sees patterns you're too close to notice and fixes them without the emotional baggage. The right consultant doesn't just give advice, they help structure operations, clarify roles, build systems, and create decision frameworks so the business runs without constant dependence on you. That's how you reclaim thinking time. because your job isn't to hold everything together with willpower. Your job is to think big, steer the direction, and lead with clarity. Sometimes the smartest leadership move isn't doing more. It's bringing in someone who helps you finally step back and work on the business, not trapped inside it. This isn't about working harder. It's about working intentionally with your eyes on the horizon, not just your inbox. So here is the challenge for this week. Block out just 1 hour for strategic thinking. That's it. Start small. Close your laptop, put your phone on silent, and ask, where do I want to take this business in 6 months? In 2 years? Because the truth is, strategy isn't a bonus activity. It's the activity that makes all the others make sense. And if you need help getting there, book a free discovery call with me. Let's get your business out of reactive mode and into serious growth. Remember, you can't scale chaos, but you can scale a system. Thanks for watching.